Number one, there's a lot of moisture, so the body becomes cool and yin. So now you have this weather and you're freezing. So, but without raw, you lose all that enzyme activity from all the cooked food. Right? Macrobiotics can have two extremes to it. Like we can be far too cooked, pressure cooked, roasted, so you become contracted and dry and that sort of sunken, cheap look. If it's balanced with some degree of raw, some degree of cooked, you find sort of a harmony. But a totally raw diet works great if you live in San Diego, Texas, New Mexico, Florida, right, Peru, right. Hippocrates isn't in Maine.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. That makes sense.
You can, and then people go to Hippocrates, they come back to Maine after 2 weeks, or Massachusetts, and they don't thrive anymore. And then they think, well, what happened? They go back to Hippocrates and they thrive, and nobody connects the dots and goes, well, I'm in Florida. And Hippocrates makes you commit to 2 weeks. You must go for 2 weeks. Because it takes your body 7 days to acclimate to being in the heat. So now you've got another week, then in 7 days, your condition starts to change. Now you go home. Now it becomes more challenging, right? So what happens is the nutrients are more difficult to get to when you eat an entirely raw diet. Where Hippocrates has excelled is juicing, which makes the nutrients available, sprouting, which makes the nutrients available. But it's all hot weather food. So you go down there and you've got vitamin D. First of all, when it's cold, you're like this. So you're young. Even though hot weather is more yang, we become more yin because we go, oh my God, feel the sun. Everything opens, you stand straighter, you wear less clothing. It's more yin. You become more yin, the climate is more yang. Cold weather is really yin. It's dark, it's cold, it's damp, but it makes us more yang because we go like this to balance it. So now, you go to Hippocrates, woohoo, yin. Now you come home to Boston. You're like, shit. We think we have 125 days of sun in Philadelphia. As opposed to Florida, which has like 240 days. And Florida has two climates. I lived there for 9 years, hot and hotter, humid and humid. San Diego is hot, 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 hot. Beautiful, right? Texas, same, hot. Warm all the time, so it's a different climate. So all of those places that sort of promote raw eating, you will live in a warm climate, go for it.
Even doing that since raw,
No.
if you live in a
No.
warm climate,
No, but you have a better chance of being okay and being comfortable.
but it's still not.
It's still not for everybody. Just like all cooked isn't for everybody either. Just like vegan, I don't think, is for everybody. I think there are people who do not thrive without some animal food. And that's the difference between vegan and macrobiotics. Is we say, all right, listen, man, Brenda, you're not thriving. You better eat some fish and some eggs because you're losing your strength, you're losing your muscle, you're losing your, right? Like, I don't think that Valerie should be vegan. I don't think Carolyn should be vegan. Right? Because they tend to be finer boned, thinner muscles. And in order to, I'm going to use the word muscle up, but you know what I mean?
Beef up.
But not really beef up, because you're never going to be, because you're both naturally thin, you're naturally slender, but even Ginny, I do not think should be vegan. Right? Even Robert. Robert is never going to have big muscles. He's always going to have lean muscles. But to keep that muscle, he has to eat some fish. He doesn't like it, but he has to eat some fish. You have to eat some fish, some eggs. I think that there are certain people, and it's a rare woman that can't thrive on vegan diets because we're built to sustain 2 lives, we're tougher, we're more young. But sometimes, and that's the difference. You know, Bill Tara said, being vegan is about what you don't do. Being macrobiotic is about what you do. So we look at food entirely differently. You know, and if you're not getting a lot of minerals, if you're not using sea veggies, you better be eating some fish and maybe some eggs to get some animal food. I'm not talking butter and meat, whatever. Low on the food chain. Eggs are the least controversial food source, I think, in the animal kingdom. Less pollution, lighter footprint. They don't really abuse the eggs. You know, the chickens, if it's from a local farm or whatever, cage-free. Every now and then, I feel like I need one. When I train or when, like, weekends like this, and tomorrow I will wake up and crave an egg. They're probably not going to eat in the house, so I won't have one, but when I did triathlon, I usually eat eggs for a couple weeks before. Because you need a little bit of, sometimes we need strength, and when you understand the energy of food, you can use it. So said before a race, you don't need a salad. They carb load, they protein load, because you're going to break down all that muscle. Right? Valerie's a runner by nature. So when she runs, she tears down muscle and she burns off every calorie that she has, plus she's got a fast metabolism over her. So she needs not necessarily more volume of food because she's small, she needs more density. So when she eats nutrient-dense foods as opposed to salads and light and broths and whatever, smoothies, food, nutrient-dense, volume. It doesn't have to be big volume, but nuts, seeds, things that really give us. Whereas you could get away with more salads and broths and lighter. You won't find it as satisfying, but it will get you where you want to go faster. But we don't like that food. You know, if somebody said, here, have a consomme or have this roasted cauliflower with tahini sauce. But we have to look at things based on our condition. So for her, she might have the roasted cauliflower with tahini sauce and some sauteed kale. You're going to have that with a salad, a bitter salad to help you digest the fat from the cauliflower. That's what this gives you. That's what this gives us. We're all going to eat plant-based food, and like Patrick always says, actually the difference between a burdock and a collard green is this much. Because it's all plant. It's all plant-based. It doesn't matter. Like what you said, it doesn't matter in the end. Because there's this thing in macrobiotics where you eat all your heavy food first, like you eat all your grain, then all your protein, then all your veggies, like there's even an order in which to eat. But if you talk to Patrick, he goes, what's the difference? It's all plant quality. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But in Europe, why do we eat salad at the end? In Europe, nobody eats their salad at the beginning like we do. It starts digestion, it's light. George Sawa used to say that if you ate your salad first, here's your salad and your stomach jumping up raw. Woohoo, hello! Now we've done pasta and bread on top of it, and we feel like our dinner's right here. Because it is. But if you have your pasta and your bread, and then you have salad, it starts the digestive process. You feel much better. It's why Europeans can eat, like Italians eat pasta every flipping day, twice a day, and they're all built like that. And not just a little bit. And you want to smack the crap out of them. Part of it is that, part of it is the quality of your food, part of it is that they walk everywhere, part of it is that they don't eat more than 3 bites of dessert at any given moment, right? They understand that after 3 bites you don't taste sugar anymore. So they eat 3 bites, they savor it, and they're done. But they eat dessert every day, sometimes twice.
And they're not eating in their car, and
They
they're
don't
not
sit
walking
there,
on the
right.
street corner.
And they never eat standing up. They never eat standing up. Or drink standing up. I think I told you guys, I was teaching in Barcelona. A guy came up to me and he'd just been in New York for 2 weeks. He was very excited to be in America, but he couldn't get over that we eat in the street. And I said, well, you have street vendors in Barcelona. He said, yeah. Then we go to the plaza. We sit down, we eat. He said, you guys eat? And I said, I'm thinking, no, we pretty much eat in the street. We eat at the gas station, we eat at the bank.
They're eating it now, they're on the phone, they walk down the street.
So when you're eating standing up, your stomach is kidney bean shaped. So it has a hard time getting to the duodenum and into the intestines. When you eat sitting down, I mean, anybody who teaches macrobiotics will tell you not a great, nothing unless you are sitting down. And it makes a huge difference. And the thing that Europe has over us, particularly France and Italy and Spain, is that they really still celebrate the idea of sitting down to eat every single night. It's a party. Like you sit down, you have dinner, they don't care about money, they don't care about work, as long as they have enough money for good food and a bottle of wine, everybody's happy. And if you have theater tickets, then don't go to dinner. Go to dinner after the theater. Go to dinner at 6, hoping to be at the theater by 8, forget it. Like we go to lunch in Italy and our guests get frustrated because lunch is 3 hours. But lunch is 3 hours. And then they go, what about shopping? What about shopping? It's closed anyway. Go if you want. Why are we sitting here so long? Seriously? This is so great. You can digest. By the time you get up to walk, you've digested your meal. Now you're ready. So, but we don't live in that culture anymore. So we have to sort of bring it back in the way that we can. And then yin and yang becomes irrelevant because you're balanced anyway. Right? And like when it's plant quality, don't make yourself crazy. As long as you're getting variety, the 5 transformations are present. And as you cook and as you eat, I'm telling you it'll come. I'm telling you it'll come. You gotta trust me on that one. Don't trust anybody who says trust
least you're sitting. Don't
Yeah,
drive the car.
but you design your day, right?
Mhm.
And yes, you have a certain number of people that you have to see.
Right.
How long does it take you to eat lunch?
Should I yell it?
20 minutes?
10.
So can you pull over somewhere for 20 minutes and actually eat your lunch? You're in a little bit of a different situation than a nurse who's running around the emergency room.
True.
So you have to try to design your day in a way that allows you 20 minutes to either sit in a park, now that the weather's getting nice, pull over, right, and be able to eat, and just eat. And even within our healthcare system, which is terribly stressful for the people who work in it, you have to be able to find a space of 15 minutes where you can go sit somewhere. And if somebody's going to die in that 15 minutes, they're going to die anyway. You got to go and sit there. Our nurses and doctors are the most unhealthy people that we have because of the way we design healthcare for them to work in. It's overtaxed, and no matter how much money they earn, I know we go, oh, doctors make so much money. You could never pay them enough for what they go through. Nurses either. It's like you watch them, and I don't know how they breathe. I don't know how they take time to pee during the day. Right. So within that, you have to design within your own day, finding 15 minutes to go sit somewhere and have a little peace of mind. Teachers as well. Right. So we have structured our society away from food, away from nature, and into profit. So it's up to us to step on as best you can and still, be able to make a living.
That's part of your 300
Yeah, absolutely. What stops you? Literally what stops you. Not, don't go to a shrink and say, why am I not good enough? I didn't use L'Oreal, so I'm working. I don't want any nonsense. I want you to tell me what's happening. All right, in the meantime, we got to cook. Do we want to cook?